So much, as always, seems to be going on in the world of boxing. And this show, right in the thick of it. Many of you out in Spain over the weekend were telling me how much you love the boxing on the show. So this morning is no exception. And we have one of the major players in that sport joining us live. The 9th of May, Fabio Wardley defends his WBO World Heavyweight title against Daniel Dubois in Manchester. It'll be Fabio's first defense of his belt. Fabio Wardley, unbeaten, 20 wins, 19 of those by KO, 1 draw. And the man himself joins us live in studio. Fabio, good morning.
Good morning. How are we all doing? Everyone all right?
Great, thank you. I love the way you've got this air of confidence. You've always had it, but you breeze into the studio. You're happy to see everyone. You're saying hi to everybody through the glass out there. You're loving life, right?
Yeah, of course. Always. Like this is finite, isn't it? Like a career, my boxing career, the attention and all of this stuff. This is finite. So look, enjoy it while I'm here. Like big occasions, big moments, big fights, big events, and come on here and talk to you, lovely chaps.
So Daniel Dubois is next. 2 months out from it. Preparations, how are they going? Whenever we ask a fight, how are your preparations going? No one ever says, God, it's been a nightmare. I mean, I take it. You're flying through.
I've got this injury, my arm hurts, my back hurts. I haven't been sparring. Now, look, we're right at the beginning of things, early doors. We've still got a good few weeks to go in terms of training schedule and stuff. So we're just in the process of ramping up. So right now, everything's fine. Like, look, as an honest boxer will tell you, we never get through a camp unscathed. You never get through a camp perfect or whatever else. So look, the niggles, the pains, the aches or whatever, they'll come later down the line or whatever else. But right now, fresh as a daisy, ready to roll and ready to get stuck in.
Are you disappointed it's not Usyk?
Yeah, of course.
Do you feel he ducked you?
I would say duck is a strong word because that has an implication that he's too scared to fight me, which I don't necessarily believe is the truth. I believe that he's at a stage of his career now where he has earned the right and built the right to kind of pick what he wants to do, pick his fights, being plain, money fights, the things that make the most monetary sense to him. And somehow his team, whichever else, have decided that's not me. Look, I understand it. It doesn't mean I'm not disappointed. As evidenced by this fight and my previous and whichever else, I very much like to test myself against the best. So it's no sway to me at all. I want to get stuck in with him, but if not now, come through this. Look, I'll be on the phone to him again, trying to nudge him, his team, saying, look, I've got through that one. How about now? And if not, I'll get through the next person and I'll be on the phone to him again saying, look, how about now? So yeah, look, I'm forever going to be chasing him. It's just waiting for him to go, all right, come on then, let's have it out.
Does any part of you look at it from Usyk's point of view like, I feel a bit marginalised here, a bit diminished. I'm not being taken with the currency that I think I represent, because a lot of the time your backstory is constantly played out about what you did in the past and where you came from and how you should be handled in a certain way. And in every conversation, including ones I've had with you, I've picked the opposition. Not all the time, but most of the time I have.
You and everyone else.
Yeah, but you'll be delighted that I'm doing an alternate in this situation.
I don't know if I'm delighted.
No, you won't.
That's the worst news.
I know it is for him. But is there any part of you looks at Usyk going, well, pack it in, you? You know, I am a world champion, legitimate world champion. You should be taking a fight against me. Or was it simply the fact that you and Daniel were in the same stable, it was an easy fight for Frank to make, that you take the opportunities in front of you rather than go, you know what, how about you pack it in? You should be fighting me.
Yeah, look, there's no point to sit and whinge and moan and cry and get on a grump about it and go, oh, well, you should be fighting me and kick up a stink and have a go at him and call him this, that and the other. Like, okay, look, he's a great fighter and that would be a great fight and something very much I would love to be a part of. But he's not the only great fighter out there. He's not the only great fight for me, a great fight for the British public to watch me be a part of, whichever else. There are other ones. So, yes, very much he's top of the tree. But there are other ones in terms of entertainment value, like this one, in terms of quality, good two young guys going at it, sticking it on the line that yourselves and the public and everyone else would be interested in watching. So look, if I can't have the best one, then I'm like always, I'm going to pick the next best option.
Fabio, what are you facing in Daniel Dubois?
A good overall boxer with very good base fundamentals. Like, again, the obvious things you can look at him: good jab, heavy puncher, game, to be honest, gets stuck in, doesn't mind letting his hands go, isn't particularly shy in that instance. But there are also a number of flaws in there as well, which I'm I'm paying attention to, which I very much think I can exploit as well. So, look, there's nothing to take away from him. He's earned himself a great spot in terms of being a world champion twice over, and dealt with some of the best in the division as well, and constantly tested himself as well. Something I'll give him credit for. He's been the likes of Hrgovic, Miller, AJ, and things. So he's been with those guys. So he's not shy from a challenge himself either. So someone who's game in that sense.
Where's he most challenging? Are you worried about the early stages of it?
No, I think I'm not particularly worried about the early stages of it, because the early stages of the fight are a shootout for the pair of us. As much as I may or may not be worried about the early stages, he should be worried about the early stages for me, because I'm just as sharp, I'm just as quick, I'm just as powerful in them early stages as well, or as proven in other fights in the later rounds as well. So I'm not worried about either early, late, the middle of the fight, or whichever else. So, like, I know he's dangerous throughout. He's strong, tough, can hit hard, but there's no particular singular stage I'm worried about.
Do you think, in your mind's eye, that you will have been in with anyone that hits as hard as he does? I mean, he's at one particular point, he was, denoted as Triple D because he's dynamite. He knocked people out. You've been in with various people that hit hard, but have you been in one that hits hard as Daniel Dubois? Because if you get hit by Daniel, it's not the same as getting hit by Justice Hooney, is it?
No, not at all. Don't get me wrong, they're in different brackets entirely in terms of punch power. But for me personally, anyways, the way I feel with Daniel, it isn't particularly sharp or unexpected. His shots are pretty loaded. You can almost see them coming, and that's not to take away from them at all, because if they hit you, they're gonna hurt and you're gonna feel them. But they're not clean, crisp. They don't come out of nowhere. They're not unexpected. You know what punch is coming, and if it lands, it's gonna be heavy. But especially in boxing, it's not so much like chuck a bodybuilder in the ring. They're not gonna hit. Like, just because they're big and strong, whichever else, they're not going to absolutely knock you out. With boxing especially, it's the punch you don't see, or the punch that's a bit unexpected.
Out, yeah.
And in that area, I think he's lacking slightly.
There's a lot we want to get into in the time we have with you, Fabi. Yeah, Fabi, we're being told we can do a few more minutes with you the other side of the break. Just as we get to the break, what we're going to see on May the 9th?
All out fireworks, all out action. And I think something I am actually very proud of to have built in terms of my name and reputation. And you see Fabio Wardley on a fight poster and you look at that and you think, that's a fight. Regardless of the opponent or whichever else, you go, I'm going to get value for money here. There's going to be a scrap. There's going to be a back and forth. He's going to get tagged. He's going to tag them, and whichever else. And look, it may not be the most pretty, punch perfect, but ultimately, this is prize fighting. It's an entertainment sport. It's here for the fans. And that is something, along with, don't get me wrong, milestones, record, the things I've achieved in my career, having the name Fabio Wardley attached with entertainment within the sport is something I'm hugely proud of. So, look, that brings in of itself. And then, look, you throw Daniel in the mix, like I say, big, strong, looks the part, game, ready to throw hands. There's only one outcome for that fight, really.
Looking forward to it. You're building it up beautifully, Fabio. Fabio in studio alongside Simon, myself, and Danny Murphy this Wednesday morning. I'm going to get on to the wider aspects of what's going on in the fight game in a second, Fabio. There have been criticisms of Daniel Dubois that he lacks a bit of heart. Is there anything in that? You're smiling.
Yeah. They have, and I don't know. It's always a hard one. I sometimes struggle to say, like, oh, you haven't got heart, because don't get me wrong. You've
got to have heart to get in there.
That's my point. Like, it takes a set to get in there in the first place, and then, like he has done, lose to someone, and then get back in there with them and throw yourself back at it. Yeah. So it's a bit of 6 of one, half dozen of the other, because it takes some to get there, but then maybe in the moment, in the situation, it all gets on top of you a bit, and not to say you crumble or whatever else, but it all just, you feel the weight of it all, and it all just gets a bit too much, and the pressure and the lights and whatever else. So I can understand the criticisms.
Yeah.
And again, I always find it difficult to say, oh no, he's got no heart, he hasn't got nothing.
But you think deeper in a fight, Fabio, you've got more than him.
Yeah, look, I think that much has been evidenced in fights and in my fights and in his fights and in comparable situations of when it's not going your way. How do you respond? What do you do? Do you shy away? Do you turn away? Do you quote unquote give up, however you want to say it? Or do you just knuckle down, head down, gum shield, get stuck in? All right, if this ain't going my way, I'm going to force it. I'm going to make a situation. I'm going to make something work. So, yeah, I think in that aspect of attributes, I think I've got him down on that one.
Does it come into your thinking or Ben's thinking that there's an element? I mean, I'm not so sure that it's as blunt as quit, but it's been allocated against Daniel. When you're thinking of fighting Daniel, do you think, well, if I drag him into deep water, if I drag him into the dark places where you have to go to win fights, that he doesn't have what I have? Is that part of the shtick that you have in your mindset when you're teeing up, you're thinking about Daniel Dubois?
Yeah, look, it's definitely a secondary thought of like, it's more of a reserve or a backup of like, right, if this isn't going particularly my way or the fight's getting away from me a bit or whichever way, all right, I can turn this on its head a bit, make it rough, make it ugly, make it gritty, and that probably could swing things more so in my favour. Don't get me wrong. There's never particularly plan A. I don't think it's a case, especially with Daniel, I don't think it's a case of dragging him into deep waters, because it could be, for me, at least with my perspective and how we've looked at it as a team, it could be as early as round 2, 3. I think it's confidence in the situation. I think if you get on top of him early enough and get in his face early enough and make him feel like, hang on, this, whatever I'm doing here isn't working out for me. This isn't, it could very quickly snowball for him as quick as round 2, 3, 4. I don't have to get to 10, 12, 11.
Yeah. Tyson Fury said last week boxing had become boring without him. Had it?
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't at all. I think actually over the last year or so, we've had a bunch of fantastic events, fantastic fights. Some I've been fortunate to be a part of. I think, again, not to big myself up too much or toot my own horn, but I think in terms of entertainment value, that is very much something within boxing I'm doing my best to kind of fly the flag for, in terms of saying, let's make this entertaining. Let's make the good fights. Let's make the ones that people want to see. Like I'm saying, I want people to associate at least my name with Fabio Wardley's in a fight. Well, that's going to be a good fight. You know how he goes. He gets stuck into a fight. He makes it entertaining. He always picks a good opponent. It makes it worthwhile. I think from his side, when he's saying, "Oh yeah, boxing's got boring," it means turning up in a Batman suit or all the theatrics of prancing around and doing this, that, or getting his dad to turn up and shout and rant and rave. And
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the drama and the theatric side of boxing is a part of it, but the core tune into a fight, is it entertaining, is it good? I think that bit has been great for the last
Many
12 months.
people say that Moses Itoma is the future. Are you the present and the future of the heavyweight division?
Yeah, look, he's what, 20, 21. So look, I'm 31. So yeah, look, I haven't got as long in the game as him. So yeah, I'm definitely a few steps ahead of him in terms of age and in terms of where I am and things like that. And I think he is definitely primed and set to run the next kind of 10 years of boxing. But currently, at the moment, I am a world champion and I am at the top of the tree. So right now, it's me.
We're being advised you've got to go fairly quickly. Before you do, Fabio, Conor Benn surprised many, seemingly ditching Matchroom and Eddie Hearn to sign with Zuffa Boxing last week. How loyal are you to Queensberry?
I'm loyal to those that are loyal to me. It's something that I've had throughout my career, is that I'm very plain in the way I deal with not only Queensberry, but my management team or my coaches and things like that. Like a lot of my team and everything around me, we don't have paperwork to say, oh, you're owe XYZ or you do this or that. I'm an honest person. I'm an honest man. And look, you're owed this and I'll pay you this. And just because XYZ comes along and says, oh, we'll do all this for you, it's like, well, no, because I appreciate the work that XYZ has got me here to do. Or like the prime example is how I've got a dual coaching team between Robert Hodgins and Ben Davison. Now, very easily I could have gone, thanks, Rob, to where you've got me to in this stage of my career. I think I'm past that now. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go to Ben on my own. See you later. Where I didn't. I brought Rob with me because I believe that, look, if I can improve as a fighter, then as a coach, he can learn. As a Ben, we can work as a team as opposed to going, right, thanks, bin you off now. I've moved on to the next level. I'm leaving you behind. I'm moving on. So me at my core, that's not how I would operate. That's not how I do things. I've got a great relationship with Queensby, Frank, George Warren, them boys. We get on really well. So yeah, look, there's it'd be a hard chance that Zuffa come in and go, oh yeah, here you go, here's a bunch of cash for you and try and sort me out, because I trust in people more than I trust in money.